guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nicole. If you don't know, I never say my name on these things and I'm not sure who knows my name. It's not in my channel, that stuff. Okay, anyways, I'm coming for you today to give you a little life update. I am feeling okay today and I figured this would be a good way to explain what's been going on in my world. So back in the end of August, beginning of September, we moved from California back up to Washington State. We're originally from here, so it was kind of like a coming home type of thing. If you've been watching any of my Plan With Me's, you might know some of the stuff that's going on, but if you don't watch my Plan With Me's, then you probably won't know anything that's going on. And I know a lot of people have been curious about why I've been on such a long hiatus and what's been going on and that kind of stuff. So I'm giving you like a little life update. Here I am. So when I was in California, I was like really depressed because I was working a job I didn't really care for. I loved the people. I loved most of the people. I loved the dogs, but the job itself I just wasn't a big fan of. And I ended up coming here and doing the exact same job, but at a different company. And honestly, I just don't think it's quite what I'm looking for at this point in time, but we'll see. I haven't quit. I still technically work there, but my health has been really bad. And so I haven't been able to physically go to work. So when I was in California, it was more of a mental thing. I wasn't reading, I was blocked. I tried filming and it just didn't work. Nothing was making me happy. And I think that it was probably a good thing that we left that situation just so I had time to breathe and just separate myself from a situation that I kind of felt stuck in. This little poopers was the best thing that came out of me working there for sure. But we moved in, like I said, end of the last couple of days of August is when we physically moved up here, and then we were able to move in like the last day of August. And I have a little video setting up my bookshelves, which I need to just do like a quick, here, look at this is what's done with it, which I don't have. So I don't have an ending for that video, and I maybe I'll just do it while I have my camera out and I'm talking to you guys anyways, because I have most of my books behind me. I also have them scattered throughout the house. I'm starting to read again. I still am not reading a lot, but I'm starting to read. I'm also starting to film again. I'm starting to use my planner again. I'm starting to do things that I love again, which was all great, except for one thing. I got sick. About halfway through putting together the bookshelves, my back started hurting really, really bad. And I figured it was just stress from the move. I legit thought that it was just stress from the move. It wasn't. So my back's been hurting since the beginning of September. And it's been getting progressively worse and worse and worse and worse. Just a little trigger warning for anybody who isn't comfortable with feminine issues. You may want to step away, because this is all uterus and fallopian tube related. So this is all feminine reproductive organ related. AFAB, those organs. So we were actually, me and my husband were actually talking about possibly trying for another kid. He got his vasectomy reversed. His vasectomy reversed back in March, and we weren't getting pregnant. I had no clue why. I figured I was maybe I was just getting too old. Maybe there was something wrong with one of us. Maybe the surgery didn't take, but everything we had about the surgery was showing positively that it should work. We never got the end test results to find out if it for sure did work, because it turns out we didn't need to. Because the problem is me. I have two separate, very, very serious issues. The first one is, it's kind of like, it's like a uterine issue. So it's kind of like endometriosis, but it's far worse than endometriosis. And it's where your uterine lining starts to grow into the uterine wall. Endometriosis is where your uterine lining is growing where it's not supposed to, but there is an actual, there's an actual term, I can't remember what it is, it's myo something or other, for what I have, where it is causing me to bleed all the time, like 24/7 for the last 3 months. I have been bleeding, and it's very, very painful, which is why my back hurts all the time, because I get cramps in my back, and because I'm bleeding 24/7, because my uterine lining is literally ripping apart my uterine muscle. I'm constantly in pain. My whole back, my whole lower back is just, it's crampy. I get cramps down my legs. It's horrible. But I've been dealing with this pain for quite a while, like probably 6 months. But I was only dealing with it when I was on my period. Now I have it all the time. On top of that, I've been getting these really sharp shooting pains in my pelvis and my, so pelvis, it's like right here on my right hand side, in my pelvic area, right between my hips. And it's sharp, it's shooting, it's extremely painful. I compare it to like getting stabbed repeatedly with a red hot poker, because it's hot and it hurts. I went into the doctor, they looked at it, they said they think it's ovarian cysts, they weren't sure. So they kept sending me to other doctors to try to figure it out. One day the pain got so bad that I was so nauseous that my husband forced me to go to the ER. And while I was at the ER, they found out that I actually have a tubal ovarian abscess, which means I have a really, really bad infection in my fallopian tubes and in my ovaries. I got admitted to the ER into the hospital immediately. I was there for 3 days, getting constant rounds of antibiotics intravenously, like I was hooked up almost all the time to getting to these antibiotics. They sent me home with 10 more days for a total of 2 weeks, and they told me that that would be good, that after that 2 weeks was over, the infection should be gone. It wasn't. I went back to the doctor because I was going in for my checkup anyways, but I was telling them that the bleeding had started again and that the pain had started again, because the bleeding actually did like subside for maybe a week. It almost completely stopped. It didn't totally stop, it was just a little bit of spotting, but it was better. The pain was better, and I had been on these medications for 2 weeks. I went back and told her, hey, I've been off these medications for almost a week now, and the pain's starting to come back. So she sent me in for an immediate CT to see, and an ultrasound. She did the ultrasound first. We did the ultrasound first, and they said it's not gone, it's still there. So she had to send me to oncology. I went to see the oncologist about 4 days after I got the results. So I went to the doctor on Wednesday, I got my ultrasound on Thursday, got the results back on Monday, started taking my antibiotics again, this time a 30-day supply on Tuesday, saw the oncologist on Thursday. I have since been back to the ER one other time because I started getting a fever, and they told me if I have a fever or the pain gets like psychotically bad, which I don't know how it can get any worse. This is the worst pain I've ever had in my entire life, including natural childbirth. They said go back to the ER. So I went back to the ER one more time just to double check everything, which is why I had a bruise on my hand if you saw my last video. And they said it's fine, it's not doing any better, it's not doing any worse, it's still there. They wanted to make sure that it hadn't perforated, and because if it was perforated then it was leaking bad stuff into my system, and they even did a bunch of blood tests to make sure all the blood tests came back clear, that it hasn't perforated, it's still there, it's still holding on, it hasn't popped or anything, which is good. But because the medication didn't work, I have to go in for a total hysterectomy. And I am way too young to be having a total hysterectomy, which means they're taking my ovaries and everything, so I have to start taking hormone replacement therapy starting in a couple weeks. So yeah, I'm just here trying to update you. I got really sick. I don't know what it was. I think I got sick from Elise. I think she had like the flu or COVID or something, because we weren't able to test her, so we don't know what it was. They were going to test me at the ER, but I had been there for 7 hours and I was feeling even worse, and I just needed to go home because I was fading fast. And so we just said, forget it, I don't want to do the tests, I just want to go home. I just want to make sure that the thing hadn't popped yet. It hadn't. We're good, I'm gonna go away. So I've been pretty much in my bed for weeks, and I feel terrible all the time. as of this moment in time, my back is aching really bad right this second, and I have a twinge in the front where the abscess is. The abscess on my left side is actually getting better, but the one on my right side hasn't. And the only reason they even found it was because it's right where my appendix should be. And they were worried that I've had appendicitis. And so they took a lot of images to figure out how my appendix looked. And everything they could find said that my appendix was fine, but there was a huge mass in front of my appendix. They're not sure how I got the infection. It could have been something really simple, that was just a slight infection that moved up into my fallopian tubes and then it got stuck there. It could be my appendix has a slight infection and it gave it to it. We don't know where it came from. We don't know how I got it. All we know is that I've had it for a long time. After I got COVID last August, so August of 2021, they did some blood work on me and found that my white blood cell count was too high. They thought that it had to do with COVID. So like, come back in a couple months. I came back in a couple months, got my blood work redone. My white blood cell count was still way too high. We don't know when this infection started. All we know is that in California, they had all the information to them saying that I was sick and they didn't do anything. So I kind of sort of blame California's healthcare system for this, because now I have to have a full hysterectomy because nobody decided to look further. The doctors wouldn't see me in person. They're like, oh, it's just a high blood count. It's fine. No, that high blood count tells you there's an infection in my body, and nobody stopped to think about where it was and how it got there. And the doctors all here are so angry that I have to get a hysterectomy because they didn't catch it. Chances are I'd have to get a hysterectomy anyways because my uterus is in such bad shape, they'll probably have to take it anyways, but they wouldn't have to take my ovaries, which means I wouldn't have to go on hormone replacement therapy. So I would still not have any more kids, but at least I would be able to still lead a normal life and not have to worry about hormones or patches or any of the crap that I'm gonna have to deal with now. And that makes me very angry. So I'm trying to restart my channel and repost again because this is something that always brought me a lot of joy. And reading brought me a lot of joy. Planning brought me a lot of joy. Traveling brings me a lot of joy. So I was very much hoping that maybe this would be a blessing in disguise. I have been out of work for about a month. I will be out until at least March if I choose to go back. But maybe by the time that March hits, my channel will be doing better, or I'll be delivering groceries again, or something that still earns me a little bit of money but doesn't take away my joy. I've never made any money off of YouTube. I think I've made $200 the entire time that I have been here, because they give you, like, once you hit $100, they'll deposit it into your account, and I think that's happened to me twice. So we're talking years of YouTube and I made $200. So this is not really a valid option for money, but it is something I love and something that I love doing. I need to do that. I need to be able to bring that stuff back into my life. So I have rambled for about 15 minutes and I hope that this is informative and clears up any questions that you guys may have. I didn't leave because I didn't love you guys. I completely do, and this is one of my favorite creative outsources. I just haven't been feeling very good, mentally and physically. But mentally, I'm doing better. Hopefully, physically, I will be soon. The surgery is on the 16th of January. My husband is out on deployment right now, and they are going to fly him home for it because I just don't have a big enough support system here. I have my kids, but only one of them can drive, and he has to make money too to pay for his bills. And I can't rely on him 24/7 to be able to help. So they're sending my husband home off the ship to come home and take care of me for a couple months. I was hoping that he'd be able to stay until this was dealt with, but at the point that he left, I was on my antibiotics still and I was doing fine. And so they just assumed that that was all good, that everything was gonna be fine, and they sent him to sea. But now I'm on 30 more days of antibiotics, and I have to get everything removed. So he'll be back probably the 14th, and I have the surgery on the 16th. And so I will try to keep you guys updated on how it goes. Maybe I can get Pat to do a little vlog for you guys during the beginning of my recovery, depending on how I feel. And how he feels, and you know, batshit crazy, worry that on his side. It'll be nice to give him something to do. But I also took a bath last night and washed my hair, so I'm not a grease ball. And I figured if I'm going to sit here and talk to you face to face, maybe I should have clean hair. And I do today. It won't last long. Because washing my hair is a chore that I just don't deal with right now. I am lucky if I get in the shower and brush my teeth. So here we are. But yeah, I hope this was informative for you guys. Please comment and just keep me occupied. Give me some ideas of what things you want to see. I've got a couple of, like I said, I have a video for my bookshelves, which I don't know if I can finish right now or not, because A, this room's a mess, and B, there's a tree in the way. And a puppy. It's my puppy. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and I hope you guys have a great day. Just keep me occupied for a little while, please, so that I don't go crazy, especially since it's snowing again. I love the snow, I do. It's beautiful, but they don't plow here. So I can't get out of my house. Not that I'm leaving anyways, but it'd still be nice to be able to get out. Okay, I'm gonna go now.